Giorgos Papandreou, you speak here in Germany at the Institutional Money Congress in Frankfurt. How does it feel to speak in a country which criticized Greece most and also its citizens at the height of a crisis?
Well, first of all, I think that's exactly why I should be here to, first of all, put the record straight, but also have a good debate about where Europe is going. Secondly, I think that there are different views and different approaches in Europe, and of course in Germany too. So it's not as if there is a monolithic view of where we're going, and I think we need to leave this this blame game in Europe. That has been very corrosive, very divisive. We have to. That's my message. We have to work together. We have difficulties in Greece, we had our problems, we recognize them, but Europe has its problems also, and let's work together to solve them. Let's see how we can profit from the fact that we have our differences, but they can be very important resource for creativity, for innovation, for our strengths rather than our weaknesses in the future. Pooling our strengths rather than fearing our risks of being together. Now that, I think, is the message wanted to bring to my German fellow Europeans.
How would you judge the state of Greece these days?
Well, we have done much better. It's been a very difficult process. Can you imagine cutting the deficit from 15.6% of GDP to 2.2% in 4 years? It's a record of amongst any OECD countries ever. So that has been very painful, and we've had, for example, high unemployment, such as up to 60% in the youth unemployment. But we are reaching the tail end of this process. We still have a number of reforms to implement. We've voted on many of them to reorganize our state. That takes longer time, of course. Our tax system, opening up professions. But now Greece is becoming an opportunity for investment. We have a better track record. Tourism is booming. Our competitiveness has gone up. And I think they will soon be seeing that greater hope and optimism. We already see it in the markets, in the bond markets, but I think we'll see it in the real economy also, hopefully soon.
You presented and mentioned a green Marshall Plan for Europe and the Eurozone here in Frankfurt. Could you elaborate on that?
Well, first of all, I think the fact that we have been in basically a recession, and if not a depression for some countries, over the past years have made the markets more jittery and pressured us to make institutional reforms which we may not have been completely ready to actually do and think through in a better way. It would have been much easier to make institutional reforms in a longer period of time, and I'm talking about Europe now, if we had more of a growth scenario. But a growth scenario does not mean throwing money at the economy. It means planning for a sustainable future. And one of the major uncertainties we have, of course, is the climate change. Why not have Europe be in the front, in the lead of dealing with this climate change, but in a productive way, investing in our single market, which still needs transportation, but could be green transportation, communications, broadband, energy grids, which could also be green energy grids, bringing in renewable energy even from the south to the north, from solar, wind, geothermal, and so on. And this investment would be paid back. This would be paid back to the taxpayers. It would be actually profitable, and we could leverage money from around the world, where capital is quite cheap right now. So a green Marshall Plan or a green New Deal, I think, is something which would inspire our youth, create new jobs, but also make sure that we are sustainable and competitive in quality and not simply in a race to the bottom.